Good evening. How is everyone doing tonight?
Woo!
Well, my name is Holly Brand. I am Miss Mississippi 2021, and I first want to start off by saying thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm so excited to be here. I'm from Meridian, Mississippi, so this was just a little bit up the road. So I travel so much, so this was really nice to just drive up the road and be here with each of you. I crown the next Miss Mississippi 3 weeks from tomorrow. So this is my last speaking engagement. So I'm a little emotional, but as I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about tonight, I was doing a lot of reflecting on my year. And one thing that I think I could take away from this year that I noticed with all the people that I've met is that there are so many people who are unaware of what the Miss America organization is really all about. Most people watch the Miss Mississippi competition live on Saturday night, and they see us in beautiful gowns, answer an onstage question or two, do a talent, and that's about it. And so tonight I thought, you know what, while it's my last speech, let's go out with a bang. And I wanted to talk about what the Miss America organization really stands for. We just celebrated our 100th anniversary, and the CEO of Miss America, Chantel Krebs, said it best: not many things turn 100. And so I wanted to focus on that and talk about my journey to the crown and to being Miss Mississippi, and some things that I've been able to do over the past year in my social impact initiative. So the Miss America organization centers on the 4 points of the crown, and they each stand for style, success, scholarship, and service. So those are our core values. But our mission statement is to prepare great women for the world and to prepare the world for great women. How does that work? We work to encourage women and to empower them through scholarships and service. And we do that through our state competitions, from the local level and to the national level. And it's a process. The local competitions are usually just a day, and in Mississippi, you have to win a local preliminary to go to Miss Mississippi. And so you compete in a 10-minute private interview, and you do everything that you do at Miss Mississippi on stage that night. So an evening gown. Now we do a social impact pitch, which is like an elevator pitch for your social impact initiative. We answer an onstage question, we do talent, and then we get to crowning. And so you do everything that you would do during Miss Mississippi week, but only in one day. So it's very hectic and a little bit more stressful. And there's so much that goes into that. When you see the girls on stage just modeling in an evening gown or answering an onstage question, it's hard. It takes a lot of courage to get up there in front of everyone and do that. And there's a lot of prep that goes into that, from doing mock interviews to watching the news and keeping up with what's going on in the world around you, to preparing a talent selection to make sure that you are presenting the best version of yourself that you can to the selection committee and to the audience. You know, I remember when I was competing, all the sacrifices that I made to ensure that during Miss Mississippi Week, I was my most confident self. I just graduated from the University of Alabama, and I remember missing hanging out with my friends to do mock interviews, or traveling with my mom on the weekends when my friends were at football games to do Miss Mississippi prep. And so it's so much more than just getting up on stage. But then if you are chosen to serve in a statewide position, it's a full-time job. I'm fortunate enough to be paid by the Miss Mississippi Corporation to serve in this position, and my job is just to travel. So this past year, I have traveled across the entire state doing appearances just like this, speaking engagements. Sometimes I sing, I talk about my social impact initiative, a lot of places, and sometimes I just go and take pictures and just meet people and serving the state of Mississippi. I get a new car every 5,000 miles that I travel, and I'm on car number 7. So I've traveled quite a lot over the last year. But my job really is to be an advocate for the Miss America organization, to expand the reach of Miss America in every corner of Mississippi every single day. And every state title holder can tell you that she does the exact same in her state. I grew up watching Miss America. I never missed a Miss America competition. In fact, the first one that I remember watching, I think I was only 6. And I remember it was the evening gown portion, and I always loved evening gown because I loved seeing all the sparkly dresses and seeing what the contestants picked out. And I remember getting up and modeling with the girls on the TV in my living room, and me and my 6-year-old self making sure that I was standing right and looking at my mom going, okay, do I look like them yet? And not quite. But I remember the impact that those women had on me just in that one portion of competition on TV. And I knew in that moment that one day that was definitely something that I wanted to be involved in. I just didn't know when. And so when I was 13, I found out that Miss America had a little sister program called Miss America's Outstanding Teen. And I was visiting a friend, Bill Wolf, who creates talent tracks because I'm a singer. My ultimate goal is to pursue a career in the music industry. So I was meeting with him just to go over talent selections for future endeavors. And I was only 13 and he said, well, why don't you do Outstanding Teen? I said, no, I'm too young for that. I'm only in 8th grade. They're never going to pick me to be Miss Mississippi's Outstanding Teen at this age. I'll do it later. And he said, oh, I really wish that you would reconsider that. And I said, okay, went on about my way. And then 2 months later, I entered in my first Miss Mississippi's Outstanding Teen local preliminary and was crowned Miss Heart of the South's Outstanding Teen. A few months later, I competed at Miss Mississippi's Outstanding Teen for the first time in 2014 and fell in love with everything that the Miss America organization had to offer. I ended up competing and being involved with our Outstanding Teen program for 3 years and did serve as Miss Mississippi's Outstanding Teen in 2017, and that was easily one of the best years of my life. I watched Miss Mississippi 2017 and Elizabeth Byes serve our state, and I got to shadow her for a year. And I think then was when I realized how much fun the job of Miss Mississippi truly is. And while I always knew that I wanted to make it to the Miss America stage, being able to shadow her for a year really lit the fire in me that I knew that was something that I wanted to do. And so throughout my involvement, I gained so much from competing. There were times where I left Vicksburg where I did not have the crown, but I gained something every single time I left. Whether it was a new best friend, whether it was scholarship dollars, my parents love that, whether it was a new skill, learning how to speak in front of people, learning how to think through complex issues, form my own opinion, and confidently present that to not only a panel of judges, but also to an entire audience of people. I always like to say that the Miss America organization not only helped me find my voice, but it also celebrates my voice. There are women in other countries all around the world who are silenced and who are asked not to speak. And I've always found such joy and felt so honored that Miss America wanted to know what I had to say and celebrated what I had to say. And just even through that, the social impact initiative portion, being able to figure out what am I passionate about? What does Holly Brand want to give back to her community? The Miss America organization gives you a platform to do that through the social impact initiative. And so throughout my involvement with volunteerism, I started when I was 7. I gained so many opportunities through the team competition, which my platform at the time was Teddy Bears for Troopers. And I met a little boy at a teddy bear drive. I was only 14, and it was my biggest teddy bear drive to date. And he comes up to me and he's like, I really want to talk to you. And so we pulled him aside and I said, yeah, what is it? He was only 7. And he said, I just want to let you know that, I was in a car accident with my older brother. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, but I'm so glad that you're safe now. And he said, yeah, well, we received 2 stuffed animals from the officer on the scene. And I said, that's awesome. Now you see why this organization is so important, and Teddy Bears for Troopers, how important it is. I said, yeah, well, my older brother that was in the accident with me actually didn't make it. And so I gave his stuffed animal to our baby brother at home. And ever since he told me that, his name was Farron, that really changed how I viewed volunteerism and the Miss America organization as a whole. The impact that it truly does make on not just the candidates, but also the people that the candidates come in contact with every single day while serving as an advocate is truly inspiring. And there has not been a time where I have served for a volunteer project or done any work with volunteerism since then where I haven't thought about Farron and thought about, well, it may feel like what I'm doing really isn't making that big of a difference. You never know whose life you're impacting and the chance that you have to change somebody else's life. The Miss America organization has done that for me, and so I've just been so blessed and honored to be able to do that myself, serving as a state advocate throughout my involvement. After Miss Mississippi's Outstanding Teen, We went through a bit of a transition phase. During my year, it was announced that swimsuit was being removed from the Miss America organization. It was no longer a pageant. We were going to be called a competition. The contestants were going to be called candidates. We were changing evening gowns, red carpet wear, and so Miss America went through a lot of controversy approaching 100th anniversary. And I remember serving in that position, and one of the things that all the Miss America title holders did that year was did a social media campaign with the hashtag, "The Sisterhood is Real." I always felt that no matter what direction Miss America went in, there was still value in our organization. And it was really sad for me to see a lot of people kind of lose faith in Miss America. People were already planning our funeral, saying that Miss America was not going to survive this, and a lot of my friends who had competed in this organization with me for years were leaving and doing other competitions and exploring other avenues. But I always felt like whether Miss America is rocking her swimsuit on the boardwalk or business suit in the boardroom, Miss America is excellence personified. And who wouldn't want to be a part of that? So right after I gave up my team title, just a couple of months later, I entered my first Miss Mississippi local preliminary, and I was a nervous wreck. I had never done Miss before and thought this is the moment that I've been waiting for my entire life. I ended up winning Miss Belle of the Bayou and went to Miss Mississippi that year and watched Mary Margaret Heyer serve our state not 1 year, but 2 years because of COVID. And I remember the second year that I competed, I was really debating whether or not I wanted to compete again. Not because I didn't see the value of the organization, but because I had kind of lost faith in myself and didn't feel like I had brought anything valuable to Miss America and that I would never win. And that was just a childhood dream, and that it would never happen for me. But after a lot of prayer and seeing some of my friends still competing, I knew that it was something that I didn't want to give up on. And so in the midst of COVID and quarantine and serving as Miss Golden Triangle, I was able to do a lot of work with my platform. I partnered with the East Mississippi Hub, which is a part of the Mississippi Commission for Volunteer Service. We covered a plethora of needs across East Mississippi. We did a Mentoring Matters project where we connected students with virtual mentors in the midst of shutdowns. We also fed over 7,500 students in the midst of school shutdowns. And we delivered over 170 care packages to the most vulnerable, the elderly and immunocompromised in the early days of the pandemic. And so when I came back and competed last summer, I knew that was something that I wanted to talk about in my interview, that was the thing that I wanted to bring to Miss Mississippi and to Miss America that year. I wanted to create a statewide partnership between the Miss Mississippi Corporation and the Mississippi Commission for Volunteer Service. And that was the first thing that I did when I was Crown Miss Mississippi. And over the last year, they have been so amazing to work with. We have hosted monthly service projects, and we actually have something really exciting coming up in 2 weeks. We are hosting a statewide day of service to increase Mississippi's volunteer percentage, to ensure that all Mississippians are connected with service opportunities in their own backyards. I've always said that Mississippi is the most generous state of the nation, so I know that we have the heart for service. It's just ensuring that we have the opportunities and know where to serve. And so throughout the past year, as I've been working with that and as I've been traveling the entire state, I'm on car number 7, so I've traveled over 30,000 miles doing appearances. The one word that I think that I can use to describe this last year is just grateful. Every job is hard. Miss Mississippi has been a very hard job, but I've been so fortunate to serve in this position. And it's because of people just like you, our supporters, that make it as successful as it is. Miss Mississippi and Miss America would not be where it is today without the support of citizens. And so being able to travel and meet people just like you every single day truly showed me how fortunate I am and how wonderful the state of Mississippi truly is. While it was a difficult job and exhausting at times, I never got tired of meeting people, and even the children that I've met who were just mesmerized by the crown on top of my head. And so moments like that made all of the hard stuff go away and not even be worth it to think about anymore. But this organization has truly changed my life. And so part of my goal over the last year was just to tell people that, tell them my story, to show that while Miss America has gone through some changes, and she's not the girl that she was 20 years ago, she's not going to be the same girl 20 years down the road. And there's still value that can be found in this organization and how it's changing people's lives. And I hope that I've done a good job of that and achieved my goal over the last year. But I know that this organization is going to continue to survive and thrive for another 100 years and 100 after that. But I'm so excited for our next Miss Mississippi. I will miss not being Holly anymore. Over the last year, I changed my name to Miss Mississippi on June 26th at 10:01, and so I will miss that. But I'm so excited to join a new sisterhood, which is the Forever Miss Mississippi Club. Only 63 women have served, and so I'm so excited to see the 64th. It wouldn't be possible without all of our sponsors and volunteers, so thank you all for doing what you do to ensure that our organization is successful. But if you want to keep up with me for the next 2 weeks in our next Miss Mississippi, make sure that you're following us on Instagram at Miss America MS and on Facebook at Miss Mississippi. You can tune in on June 25th to watch the final night and watch me crown the new Miss Mississippi, or you can be there in person, which I think is so much better. Our competition starts on June 22nd, and so if you're interested in coming and watching the competition, you can call the Miss Mississippi pageant office at 601-638-6746. Thank you all so much again for having me tonight. This has been such an amazing appearance. I've loved talking with all of you and meeting you before the dinner started, but this has been such a bittersweet time in my life. It's been an incredible year, and I'm so excited for what's next to come for me and for our next Miss Mississippi. So at this time, I'll open up the floor for questions, if anyone has any questions. Going once. Going twice.
What is one thing from regular life that you've been missing out on that you want to do?
It's a great question. So what's one thing in my regular life that I've missed out on that I'm looking forward to? I think hanging out with my family. I have one brother. He serves in the Marine Corps, and he just got married last year, and they just had a sweet little girl named Rosalie. And they are moving back home at the end of the summer. So I am so excited to get some much-needed family time, just rest, play a good game of cards without any makeup on, and being able to spend time with them. Over the last year, my mom has been able to travel with me as much as she possibly can, but there's been a lot of days where I've been on the road by myself. So I've been a little lonely, to be honest, so I'm excited to get that family time and to just rest and just be. Okay, well, thank you all so much for having me. I look forward to the rest of the evening.